They're juggernauts in the industry. They're folks that are made splashes and made this industry what it is today. I'm gonna pass it off to Mr. Alex Kim Beatty at ZetaChain to take over the conversations here. So can all the folks at the 3:30 Omnichain dApp session please come up board? I think we're missing one. So we got Alex here, we got James here, Suji Yan, founder of Mask. Where are you? There he is. Thank you, Suji. Got Potter and Vincent. We good to go?
Hello.
All right. With that,
hello.
Can you hear? If you not, you can take.
Yo, check
mic.
1 2.
You got it. All right. So we're gonna pass it off to Alex Kim Beatty, master at ZetaChain, the guys that are hosting this event today, Omnichain Day. Take it away, Alex.
All right, thank you so much for everyone coming today to our Omnichain Summit event. We have some amazing speakers here today. So again, I would like to thank all the speakers. Thank you for the time out of your busy day. I know this is a very hectic week. Thank you for making the time to come here and being able to talk to everyone here about what the future of Omnichain is. So before I give it over to the speakers for them to introduce themselves and what they do, I wanted to give a little brief context. So right now, the collective vision in Web3 is to really onboard as much Web2 users as possible by providing them the best products and services with the best user experience. So right now, it's actually some of the solutions we've created have actually caused fragmented liquidity, fragmented user bases, as well as fragmented assets across multiple chains. So with that being said, I would like to give it over to my speakers to introduce themselves one by one before I go into the questions.
Thank you. I'm James Ho. I'm from Animoca Ventures. Has been with the team since 2018. Had a chance to really see the several cycles, and the group at Animoca, for those who don't know, are quite active in gaming. We've done close to 500 investments to date. So excited to be here today.
Hello, Suji, founder of Mass Network. We focus on social network, gaming, and any non-financial use case. And Animoca is one of our early investors back in the day. So we've been in social since 2016, and it's like so early. I think like the financial use case of Web3 is probably almost there, but just non-financial is so much to explore. So that's our main focus right now.
Hello everyone. This is Potter. I'm one of the co-founders at EthSign. At EthSign, we build a on-chain, omni-chain attestation layer from signing documents to sign everything on-chain. We also have Token Table, which is like a token management and distribution platform. We recently just helped ZetaChain to distribute around 20 million Zeta to 15K KYC users. So that's basically about it.
Hey guys, Vincent Yu from Sky9 Capital. We are a Asian-based venture capital, and we do invest both like traditional deals and also Web3 deals. So we have been investing like 40 to 50-ish deals over the last like 2 years across infrastructures, middleware, applications, and also ZetaChain clearly is one of our portfolios. So thanks for having me today.
Awesome, thank you for that. So the first question is really have to do with the current multi-chain climate right now. So in the current multi-chain climate, a lot of projects are pursuing a horizontal business model where they're approaching different chains, or if they're EVM compatible, they're approaching each EVM chain by one chain integration at a time. Although this can make temporary business sense for some of these projects, in the long term, it's actually caused the fragmentation that we're seeing right now. So I wanted to give this question to James and Vincent because you're head of Animoca Ventures and Sky9 Capital. What is the word omni-chain right now? And how is it so different from all these other terms, multi-chain and interoperable right now? What is omni-chain?
I think for us, day one when we started investing in this space, gaming obviously is one of our core theses. We believed in interoperability. We're seeing omni-chain solutions really connecting the different sort of chains to interact with each other. One of the early investments we made that was outlined earlier is Layer 0. Obviously, we're agnostic how we build. We want tools to allow for best games. We think content will drive user acquisition. So from a perspective of Layer 0, we're seeing some amazing developments. They've mapped 50 chains, and they've moved over $50 billion to date now. And they've recently just signed a deal with another one of our portfolio companies called XAI to enable them to build on a Layer 3 on Arbitrum. Part of this whole thesis is how do we create better tools to allow game builders to come into the space to build excellent experiences. That's our focus.
I guess like interoperability is one of the most important feature of empowered by blockchain, and Omnichain is more like a solution where you can really, have the interoperability solution that users, right now, as Alex mentioned, every user you have probably a lot of assets on different chains. You have assets on Ethereum, you have assets on Bitcoin, you have assets on Arbitrum. So every time you need to switch wallets, you need to do a lot of steps before you really want to do something. You need to move assets from one to another. So that's a painful experience. But for the degens or people who have been in Circle for a few years, you get used to it. But for the new users, it's really like a terrible experience. So I guess for Omnichain solution, it's like providing users a seamless, frictionless experience that you can just access to those dApps without knowing, okay, what chain I'm really interacting with. I'm just buying some stuff. I'm just participating in some interesting dApps. So I think at the end of the day, we are just like using all the Web2 apps we are using every day. So without knowing what a chain it is and where my asset really is, we just use it. It's just simple and natural. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for the explanations. I always considered Omnichain in a real-world example to be the infrastructure of this country, the water grids, electricity grids, the pipes, and then L1s, L2s, regardless of smart contract technology as it states, and then dApps being built on top of it, the citizens and retails and stores. So I think those are some really great examples of what Omnichain is. So I wanted to move it over to Potter and Suji. You two are both projects, you're building Mass Network and you're also building EthSign. It seems that both of your projects have had significant multi-chain development right now. Can you talk a little bit more about what your projects are doing to go omni-chain and why it's so important to you all?
Yeah, I mean, clearly user don't care which chain they use. So we're doing social mostly, right? You guys heard of Nostr, right? Jack Dorsey is a big backer, and that's on Bitcoin. But it's quite natural that if you're on Bitcoin, you also want to receive a tip on Ethereum, right? And then also maybe you want to pay out people even on Tron. You can do all these. There's no single solution that can do this. It's not because the technology is not ready enough. I think it's more about the ideologies, try to divide them behind. And anyone who try to say, hey, we integrate RD is going to be shot out by the ETH OG or the Bitcoin Maxi. That's a problem. I mean, to be real to the users, and to be real to developers. I think that's the key for Omnichain, especially for projects. And we do have preference over some chain because that's more decentralized. We have some preference over some bridge. But as a developer stack, we try to open to everyone. And it really is up to the user to choose which they like. I think that's the key, yeah.
Oops. Hello? Hello? Oh. So at EthSign, our first product is EthSign is merely a using your private key to generate a digital signature on chain. You can think of it as like a Web3 version of DocuSign. So the first 3 versions that EthSign we built, we integrated using 5 different EVM compatible blockchains. However, people on Ethereum is unable to sign contract with people on Polygon, for example. And so on our latest version of EthSign document signing platform, we've actually anchored all the digital signature on Arbitrum, and we basically allow any a blockchain who has a cryptographic ability to be integrated with basically more than 10 blockchains. So right now, we've not only Bitcoin wallet people can sign contract with town people on town, but vice versa. So this approach actually brings us more than 250K new users, as people were no longer needs to consider what chain they need to be on, right? And with our newest integration on Telegram, we've actually also see huge traction by approaching this omni-chain featurality. So yeah, I think this is something that as a non-financial application is really seeing the pain point of switching networks, and building an omni-chain is one of our major consideration in the future.
Okay, so going back to that question, it seems like EthSign is one of the first projects to make this pivot into an omni-chain with Sign protocol. So what more does the developer community have to do to make this happen for existing dApps? Because right now it seems like there is a shift in the mindset that needs to be done, right? Because right now the very popular approach is the multi-chain approach. What do developers need to do? What advice do you have for them from your own experiences as well?
Oh yeah. Thank you for that question. Oops. Hello? Yes. Okay. So EthSign, we have the contract signing platform. We also have token table, which is majorly to be. We help founders and investors to manage their token cap table and to help them to distribute tokens to their communities, investors, founders, employees, so on and so forth. As I mentioned recently, we helped ZetaChain to airdrop more than 20 million of Zeta to different networks. So for token table, because of the essence of the 2B product, it's hard for developers to come and contribute. However, recently we launched Sign Protocol, which is a Omnichain attestation layer that we built on chain. So people might not be too familiar with the word attestation. So what attestation really is you can think of signing a contract, is a attestation, because by the definition, attestation means that sign additional signature on the structured data. In the traditional world, how attestation plays out is, for example, the government, usually the government will, or the centralized corporation, they will attest the citizens or their users if they have achieved certain criteria. Say a school will issue attestation for a student who has 4.0 GPA. A bank would issue attestation for a user who has exceeds 50 million in the bank account balance. But essentially, attestation is a verifiable trust that can be a trust that can be verifiable by any time under a authentic environment. But once we bring attestation on chain, which means that we're building this cryptographic, attestation layer where you could, which is stored on blockchain, then it could be verified by everyone anywhere in the world. So in Sign Protocol, at its essence, for example, the use case could be signing contract. Of course, it's an attestation, or verifying your identity or KYC is also an attestation on chain. For our Sign Protocol, we are building this open up layer where we will reward developers to come to Sign Protocol to build different schemas. You can think of schemas as like the contract template of what kind of data that you want the users to be attested on. So, for example, the approach that the collaboration that we have with the ZetaChain would be all the ZetaChain airdrop holders who exceeds 200 Zeta, they need to go through a KYC platform called SumSup and to verify their identity off-chain. And the SumSup, as the attester, will issue a ZK attestation on-chain for the users to be eligible to claim their airdrop without revealing their real identity. So that is one of the use cases. So we have this schema repository where we would encourage different builders to come to our schema repository to build different interesting types of schemas on chain, and we would reward them with some incentives under our infrastructure. So yeah, if there's any developers down there is interested in building more interesting use cases, feel free to reach out and let us know. Yeah.
Thank you for that. It also seems like the point of Omnichain is to really improve the user experience in Web3. This goes back to the collective vision of onboarding Web2 users into Web3. So, James and Vincent, I want to ask you both. Vincent, as a partner of Sky9, your company has invested in a lot of notable Web2 companies such as ByteDance, TikTok, and Temu. And James has head of Animoca Ventures, some of the most successful games out there. And the highlight of some of these Web2 and Web3 successful projects have been user experience. I mean, with ByteDance, TikTok, and Temu, the user experience is out of this world, right? Anyone can use it. And even with Animoca Ventures right now, some of the games you're investing in is bringing in Web2 components into Web3. So I guess I just want to ask, on the Omnichain side and overall on the dApp ecosystems right now, what more do we have to do to make sure that we're able to scale to the size of being able to improve the user experience such that it matches Web2?
I think obviously the progress since I joined 2018 has been amazing. One of the things in 2018 when we first really started investing in gaming, there was a lot of challenges to really encourage people to come into the space. I think in this previous cycle, we've seen some of the best builders come out from some of the best sort of game studios, including Tencent, Amazon, Xbox, etc. Right? I think with the recent sort of downturn in gaming, we're going to be at GDC for those out there. There's going to be a lot of talent looking forward to building. And I think it's going to be an amazing sort of opportunity because obviously we're seeing all-time highs in Bitcoin. I think that's going to attract a new layer of talent coming into space. The tools in the Omnichain right now are advancing at a fast pace, allowing for people to develop great games. And ultimately, at the heart of it, great games will allow for great content. Content will allow for user acquisition. We're still seeing a lot of restrictions right now because if Google or Apple tomorrow allow for Web3 gaming, we're going to see an acceleration of users. But today, they're still really unclear on, we're very close to them as a Web2 company in the past, but they're still preventing games from launching. And distribution is still a challenge at the moment. But I think in this cycle, great games take 3 to 4 years to build. We're seeing a couple of really big games coming out from our portfolio this year. We think, one of my bold predictions this year, we're going to start seeing the first million daily active. First million daily active in free-to-play is nothing, but in Web3, that is really, really big for us, that milestone.
I guess from my side, I think the most important thing is product. I would say like for every product we are using every day, we don't really care about what technology behind them, what technology they actually use. We just care about like what sort of product feature we are using. We want to use it every day, right? So I guess like just as like James mentioned, for gaming it's content. Whether it's really a fun game, that's something we really care about. So in blockchain, you know, with tokens or with the NFTs, you can easily create some hype or go viral just by some token airdrop or by some incentive. But at the end of the day, or in the long run, it's always a product. Whether these products can really have the user stay here, you can get a really some retention. So everything is about whether this product. So we are not only looking for product market fit. So in Web3, we also need to have the product token fit, which means the token really fit into the product, so that it's not a Ponzi. It's gonna be like sustainable. So I guess that's something like in the long run we are looking for. And here, like Animoca is like exploring the opportunities in gaming, and they are doing a lot of really good investment on top of that. And also, Mask is doing experimental stuff on social. And I guess we are still in the early stage, and a lot of talents and projects, they are just exploring the right like product token fit. Yeah.
Thank you. Suji, I wanted to go back to you. For Mass Network, one of the biggest highlights is being able to aggregate your digital activities together. Can you talk a little bit more about this, exactly how you're doing this, the importance of it, and why Omnichain tooling could be a part of it?
So in the back days of 2017, 2018, we started to aggregate Facebook, Twitter, and that was the time like Twitter was under Jack, and he was mentioning the blue sky thing, right? And now the follow is the outcome of a lot of experiment features. Now Elon removed them. NFT, PFP, Ventures, you can just add your Twitter tipping with ETH, but it's never come to a product level that people can use. You always need to copy paste the tipping address on ETH, and you always cannot never trade on Twitter. So we're able to fill that gap and partner with all the pioneers from Uniswap to like Vitalik endorse us, sending over the red pocket and tipping each other. That's the first use case. Then we realized, okay, there's actually a lot of Web3 social network that try to bridge Web2 social network, right? We become investor of Lens, become friends with all the other players like Farcaster, Nostr, and we realized this problem became more serious. Like, okay, Lens is on Polygon, right? We're also friends with Polygon. We launched the SocialFi Union together in 2021. Then Farcaster is more close to the Silicon Valley people on optimism, on the base. It's all EVM, but it's not SAM. And again, like we talked to the Jack and other friends with Jack, say, hey, what are you guys doing right now? They're like, oh, we're on Bitcoin, Nostr, only 90 network, no stable coin. That's a huge problem. If you're like a NAMI user, right, you're not really degen, you're a NAMI user, someone pitch you, okay, decentralized social, GameFi, great. And then they're going to ask you, oh, that's the Nostr thing, that's the masking, right? And they say, oh, no, we're the Solana guy. No, we're not the same. This is not helping at all. So we try to say, okay, no matter we fight or not, we're just going to aggregate all. As long as your contract is open, as long as code base is open, we're able to integrate all together. The only problem is like a lot of Web2 companies are still hesitating to talk to us. But recently, because the AI wave, we also figure out, I'm not sure whether you guys read the news about Reddit. So Reddit actually agreed to sell their data to Google and other AI partner for $60 million US. That's a huge amount, but I think for Animoca, that's okay. Animoca can give like 60 million, and we can, we try hard, we can give 60 million to Reddit. They can open the data and back to the users. The problem is right now, only AI can just pay 60 million. The day when Web3 can pay Twitter 60 million, 100 million, when they open the social graph, it's gonna be huge. They can make 100 million, you can make like, billions out of it in a way that people preserve their rights, preserve their key. But that's the key. Just don't fight to people because of the chance, and that's the key, and that's why we're doing this.
Thank you. And this is a question for all the panelists. I know we're making time quite early, actually. But to just end off this panel, I just want to ask all of you, what's next for Omnichain use cases? Right now, we're seeing a lot of focus on the DeFi ecosystem, but given your respective backgrounds, what's next?
I think I'll jump in first. I think from my side of it, as I mentioned earlier, I think content to us at Animoca, IP content, NFT is culture. And I think culture really creates that sort of different community. We also have a full team in Japan now. We have 20 people in Japan. I'm a big manga anime fan. Those cultures and communities are very powerful when you start educating them on gaming, entertainment, etc. I think with Omnichain solutions advancing, we're going to see greater and greater sort of storytellers, creators that leads into content, culture, and communities. That's key for us. And I think, as Suji mentioned earlier, I think decentralized content, decentralized AI will help us create better models to protect our data. And I think that's very necessary for the next generation of builders and creators.
I just think we should be, compatible to each other, no matter which game you're handling with, compatible. That's the key difference from Web2 and Web3. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I would say, Omnichain attestation, because, that's what we're mostly focusing on, where, people on Bitcoin, attestation on Bitcoin can be verified through EVM wallet. That's like something that's super cute. And so, DeFi brings yield on chain, like Omnichain attestation brings like trust on chain.
Yeah, I think DeFi for sure, but actually Omnichain solution bring us like one step closer to the real like consumer applications. I mean, like tens of billions of users or even billions of users consumer applications, especially in the like gaming and social sectors.
Well, that's it for today. Well, I hope everyone learned something more about what Omnichain is and what we're all building towards and the challenges that we're facing and the solutions as presented by our speakers here. Thank you so much.
Let's give them all a round of applause. Some amazing speakers here from the industry. If you guys don't know, these guys are like the master.